Hi everyone, it's Angela from Minimal Means. Today I want to go over a list of 15 things that expire in your house that you really need to replace. So these may fly under the radar, and you may not even think of these things, but they really do need to be replaced. So number one is spices. I've talked about this many times. So spices do expire and they lose their effectiveness. They just don't taste the same or have very little taste once they expire. And these are one of the things that kind of sneaks by in my house too, that I need to go through my spices quite often and make sure they're not expired. And they have tiny little expiration dates, and I have to use a magnifying glass being this age to be able to see those expiration dates. But go through your spices. Number two is sunscreen. This always seems to get away from me too. Sunscreen does expire, and it is not as effective once it does. So make sure you're checking the dates on your sunscreen and only keeping it if it has not expired, because it's not doing its job if it's expired already. Number three is baking soda. Same thing with baking soda. It's not doing its job if it's expired. And especially if you've opened it, the expiration date is really important, and things aren't going to raise if you don't have fresh baking powder. Number four is flour. Same here. Flour gets stale, and if you're not much of a baker and you don't reach for flour very often, this is another thing that may get away from you. So check your expiration date on flour. Toothbrushes. These don't really expire, but you shouldn't be using a ratty old toothbrush. If you have, buy a new one. They're not as effective when you have an old toothbrush. Number six is makeup. Makeup does have expiration dates, and especially mascara. So mascara is only supposed to be used for 3 months after it's open, and you don't really want to mess around getting some type of infection in your eye. So I really do recommend changing your mascara, throw out the old one and get a new one every 3 months. Number seven is cutting boards. These too can get very infected with bacteria. So if you have one that's cut up and in bad condition, it's time for a new one. But remember to sanitize your cutting boards often. Put sanitizer on them, which you can use vinegar or bleach or something and you can put them in your dishwasher to sanitize your cutting boards, and let them air dry before using them once you sanitize them. Number eight is pillows. I'm kind of guilty of this. I have a pillow that I really like, and so I haven't replaced it, but you should be replacing them and washing them. I know that is not something I've done very often, but I do have like 3 covers on my pillows, so I do wash all of those covers when I wash the sheets. But pillows are technically supposed to be replaced ever so often too. Number 9 is smoke alarm batteries. Make sure you're checking your smoke alarm batteries yearly and changing those to make sure that if you needed them, it would be working. Number 10 is non-stick pans. So if you have Teflon pans that are flaking off Teflon, you need to get a new one. It's not healthy to be eating those little pieces of Teflon that are flaking off. So get a new pan if you have Teflon pans that are flaking off. Number 11 is your filters in your vacuum. So depending on what kind of vacuum you have, I have a Dyson, and those have washable filters. So make sure you're vacuuming and washing your filters for those. Number 11 is water filters. So if you have a water dispenser in your refrigerator, make sure you're changing those routinely or changing them when they say they should be changed. I can't imagine the gunk that must live in water filters. Just change them. Number 13 is yeast. So yeast expires pretty quickly. And if you use it when it expires, you're going to wreck your product because it's not going to raise right. So make sure you're checking the expiration dates on yeast. Number 14 is peroxide. We use this when we have a cut, and if it's expired, it's not going to be as effective. So make sure you're checking the dates on peroxide. And number 15 is cooking oils. I go through quite a bit of avocado oil, but if you don't, make sure you're checking the dates because oils do get rancid. So make sure you're checking to make sure that they have not expired. So those are my top 15 things that expire in your house that may have slid by the radar and you might not remember, but maybe you should take a look at those 15 things. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.